Welcome to another 3D comparison video. So I received the following comment. So I have a question. I want to convert STL model to step to change the model. What could you recommend me? So we see over here that we have a 3D model that is in STL file format, and that will require to be modified within a CAD solution. So we see over here that he wants to offset the model and do some changes. But we see over here, I don't want to lose surface quality. So what is the best way for STL, Fusion, CATIA, or SolidWorks, or first converting data in FreeCAD? Well, it highly depends on the quality of the STL file. And I want to address that within this video. So let's say over here, for example, I have the following piggy bank. And as you can see, this is within CAD. So I'm within Solid. I can go over here. Let me just hide those. And we're going to see that within CAD, the model will look like this. So everything is really sharp, as you can see. But as soon as I'm going to save this as an STL, then is where the quality will start to drop. So if I will go to Save As, I will go within Desktop, let's say. Over here, if I'm going to change this to STL, I can give it a name. So Piggy Bank Design 1. And this is highly dependent to the output. So if I will just leave it like this, Piggy Bank Design 1, I will hit save. We're gonna see that with the default settings, this file size will have the following number of triangles. So you can also see over here a preview with multiple vertices. And the problem is that everything that is not flat will be made of small triangles. And when we have fillets, for example, over here for the ears, we're gonna have a lot of detail. So I can save that and I can load that, let's say either within Solid, Fusion, or CATIA. I would go in this case with Fusion since that's the most affordable solution in my opinion. And it will also work pretty good over here. So I can go insert mesh. I can select that. And I know that I have that on my desktop. If I will type in Piggy Bank Design 1, this is the one that I created. And I can have that imported, so I can flip it and I can click OK, and this will be loaded. Now, as you can see, this will be a mesh, and just like what I said previously, if I will just change the visualization, the model will look like this. You will consider that, okay, maybe this model is good, but the problem is that converting this into a working file, it's not that easy. Since this is a mesh, as you can see over here, I can go over here within mesh and I can go within convert, and this will convert the mesh into a surface body. You can also do various changes. But you see that as soon as I'm going to click on this, Fusion will give me a notification. So this mesh has more than 10,000 triangles, and we know that this has almost 65,000. So it will take a little bit of time, and in some cases, maybe it will not also work. So we can either go for parametric, or we can go for base feature, which will give us the T-spline. So as an example, I will just hit OK for this, and I will let it work. We see over here that we have that warning. The mesh doesn't have any warning, so we see that Fusion has started to work. While doing this, it also went into Alt Tab, and I have now Solid displayed over here. So if I will go back, we're going to see that this will be the output. And as we can see, the mesh will be defined like this. So we have multiple small triangles. So this is the main problem. If you have a surface that will have a lot of details, when you are doing this transition, you will have those added within your final model. And this is the main difference between a CAD and an STL file. This is why reverse engineering that uses automatic workflow, just like the one that I show you over here within Fusion, will not be best if you want to have a good mesh output. So let me better explain this using a simple model. So I have over here prepared a different part, which is this one. If I will save this as an STL, since I have only flat faces, this will be excellent to transfer towards that. So let me just go ahead and show you. So file, save as. If I will save this as an STL, let's say simple part, I can hit save. We're gonna see that only 28 triangles in this case will be created. And now if I will go with Infusion, let me just hide that and import the new one. So this will be the simple mesh, simple part. I want to position this. And if I want to convert this, I will go to convert mesh. I will hit OK, and this will be converted. And now I can go ahead and I can work with this. So if I will add over here a fillet, I can also increase the value. We're going to see that the fillet will look as following. So if I will show the hidden lines, let me just change this to edges only. And you see that this is the geometry of the output model. Over here, this fillet is a bit weird because we had that triangle over here. So Fusion will create those additional edges. But as we can see, we can easily work with this. So we can go ahead, we can move faces, offset faces, and so on. Mostly, this was what we wanted over here. So if I want to offset that face, I can easily do so. And you're going to see that in this case, it will also propagate. You can also go and extract those as individual elements and have only those offsetted. But now let me just show you over here what happens. If I'm going to go with a fillet, but I want to fillet all the top sections over here, I'm going to click OK. We're going to see that the fillet will now look like this. If I will go and I will save this as an STL, again, I will leave the default settings, but we're going to go into those as well. So this will be simple part 1. We're going to see that 140 triangles. So we see that number highly increase. Also, we're going to receive this, so all bodies. I only have one single body over here. And yeah, let's just import that again. So insert mesh. This will be simple part 1, which will be the following. I will rotate this. And just by looking at the wireframe, you're going to see that converted fillet will actually have those small triangles. And this is why STL files are not that great for this kind of applications. If I will go over here with a fillet, again, I will need to convert this. So convert mesh, we have that converted. And you can already see over here the difference between those two fillet types. So just like we saw previously, if I will just increase this, you're going to see that over here we have a small amount of, let's say, wireframe that will define this fillet. And this is the main difference between CAD and, let's say, polygonal modeling that we have within Blender, 3ds Max, Maya, and so on, and other tools. And this is why CAD is really important, but CAD will produce this kind of fillet. STLs converted will produce this kind of fillet. And over here, even for this simple part, if I will go ahead and I will save this again as a different STL. So let's say simple part 2, and I want to go within options and I want to discuss those. We have over here a threshold, so we can define the resolution. If you want this to be coarse, this will make fewer triangles. If you want this to be fine, this will create more triangles. So yeah, we have over here that custom deviation. By default, this will just take you to some parameters, but you can go with custom. So this will be, as you can see, a low tolerance, this will be coarse, and this is a fine tolerance. If I'm going to click now OK, and if I will save this, we're going to see that now this will have even more triangles. So even though I have a single fillet on 4 edges, this will already create 248 triangles over here. And if I will import that, that will further, let's say, have that within the converted element. If I'm going to go with a piggy bank, and with this, if I'm going to go with the same settings when I'm saving the STL file, and again, this is why it's important. It all depends on the model that you want to work with. I wouldn't recommend to work directly with the automatic surface in this case. So again, it highly depends on the end product. If you want that to be machine molded or only 3D printed, then that will heavily influence this. Let's go now with this deviation, and yeah, let's save the piggy bank design too. And we're gonna see that this one will now have 2000, no, 200,000, okay, triangles, and this will be really complex. So we can go ahead, we can import that. Again, Fusion will state that, okay, the mesh is quite detailed. Maybe it's not a good idea to work with it directly. You can go within the mesh environment and you can have this simplified. Because just by looking at the model like this, you're gonna see that those details will look as following. So yeah, the model looks really good as an STL, but again, if I will try to do that conversion, I will have the same warning. I can also go for the method, so prismatic, faced, or organic, but organic will require additional credits within Fusion. And yeah, you can also convert this to a base feature, and that will give you access to the T-spline workflow. But this is the main problem. So if you only want to offset this, let me just start Blender because I want to show some additional elements over here. So I'm starting Blender and I will import the same model. And you're going to see that Blender is the kind of software that is not CAD. So that means it will mostly work with polygonal triangle meshes. So in this case, I can load that piggy bank STL. I can go within File, Import, STL. I know that on my desktop I have this one. So we see 10 megabytes. The first piggy bank was 3.1. When I will import this, we're going to see that it will be heavily scaled. So I will need to press S 0.001, make it 1,000 times smaller. I'm going to now rotate this on the x-axis, 90 degrees. And we see that we have that origin and pivot point over there. Since I modeled this and the origin was, actually we see the origin was added over here when I modeled this. But for some reason, when exporting this as an STL, we're going to have that origin to the side. But we can easily change that, origin to the geometry. And now I can open the side panel. I can zero this out. And yeah, I can put it over here to be on the ground. So this is the mesh. If I will enable the wireframe on top of this, this is the STL, and you're gonna see over here for every section that has been filleted or domed, we're gonna have a high amount of triangles. So I can enable statistics and I can visualize those over here. Now we have the possibility to do a simple offset over here if you want to. You can just go within modifier, add modifier, and we have solidify. And solidify actually adds over here. We're gonna see how this will work. In this case, it works a little bit weird. So we have over here two methods. One will be simple, one will be complex. But let me just convert the mesh before I'm gonna do that. So I will just have this reconverted and have that solidify reapplied. And let's see if it will work the same. So mostly we're gonna see that it will be the same. It's not actually being offsetted from the same. So I zero that out. And now we're gonna see that it will now do that proportional. So minus 0.5. And yeah, we're gonna see how we can change that. And I would recommend that you will do so. Maybe you want only some faces, you can select those. You can have those added additional thickness over here. Keep in mind that over here this will be in meters, but then you can just export this and you can re-import into CAD. You're gonna scale it because Blender uses meters as the default unit, and CAD solutions will use millimeters. But again, I would highly recommend that if you have a complex model, I would use a workflow like this because Blender can just easily do that solidify on top of this model, and you can just move it into CAD, do the additional cuts and changes on the model that you can then convert, and yeah, you can end with that final model. So in order to conclude this, what I would recommend, again, it depends on the STL. So if it's a large 3D scan, I would recommend initially maybe try this approach with Blender. That will be quite fast, and you can easily fix that and change it. But the best solution would be to load it either within Fusion, SolidWorks, or CATIA and have it reverse engineered. So everything will be made by using surfaces. I would not recommend automatic features, so it will take a little bit of time. This is why reverse engineering for CAD, it's a complex job, and a few people do it properly, and it's quite time demanding. And you can find additional for that. For example, if you're gonna type in CATIA reverse engineering, you're gonna find many videos regarding this. So I would recommend this one, Getting Started. But you can also go with Fusion, reverse engineering. Over here I see that for Fusion I don't have directly with reverse, but I have STL to part. I know that I made those videos. So I also compare CATIA with Fusion. In my opinion, Fusion is a little bit better if you work with simple parts, just like we saw over here. But for more complex parts, you would definitely need more, let's say, surface features, and CATIA will shine over there. And you can also find those for Solid. So SolidWorks STL, and yeah, this is the one. How to import and edit STL, January 2025. Okay, so I hope you enjoy this kind of content. I will add this video to your comment, and I hope that it will help you. So I hope that also others find this video useful, because this is quite an interesting topic, and I know that a lot of people are interested. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed this kind of content. You're gonna find a similar video on the left side, and I will also add a subscribe button to the right. So that's it. Thanks for watching.